Frederick Smith here, Continental Realty of Jax. We're at 1702 West 44th Street. Yet another inside video. Sorry about that. I had a phone call, and unfortunately, I always answer my phone, which means I can't do video at the same time. So we are in this back room. It is off of the kitchen, and I wanted you to look. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we've got some pretty good slope on the floor of the kitchen from that doorway down behind the range. The floor has got a pretty nice slope to it. So once again, as an off-grade property, you're definitely going to want to have the inspector have a look at that. I don't know what you would call this, a den, a family room, something. It is, once again, off of the kitchen. So, you could put your TV in here, maybe a couple of chairs or something, and it would be a good spot, out of the way in the back of the house. This door here goes out the back. I'm not going to open that, but that is where that door goes. And then this is where your laundry is. So we've got the washing machine on one side, and we've got the dryer on the other. This is several steps down, so you have to be careful. You've got the rough cut edge of the LVP here coming up to the door. Really, these should be cut back to the door jamb itself. You can't put a door really on this at this point with the how this is laid out, but that's okay. You're gonna have to do something about the light there too, because really you can't have that just hanging down in that fashion. So the panel is a Siemens panel. It's ancient, it's ugly, but it's a 200 watt service, and as a Siemens panel, the panel is just fine. No problem with that. I think that's my favorite part of this house, honestly. This is also where your attic access is. I can't see up in there, but I do see a lack of insulation. So I think, what we've got is really with this house, several big issues, at least in my book. I'm gonna hit these lights and head towards the front while I'm talking. The first thing is that we've got LVP everywhere, and including in the kitchen and the bathrooms, and this is not the LVP that is waterproof. You might think it is, but it's not. And that means that you're going to have some issues possibly underneath your house with water going down into the subfloor. Second thing, the kitchen has been raised up. As you can see here from this transition, the flooring in the kitchen is up because they put a sheet of plywood down, probably to cover up or somehow manage damage to the floors as a result of water from this sink. Not this sink, but whatever sink it was that was there previously, because that's a new sink that they put in. So water coming down into the cabinets or leaking onto the floor, rotting things out underneath. And what you do about that is, some people anyway, I don't, but what these folks did, I think, is to put some plywood sheets down into the kitchen. It doesn't go everywhere. It's only in the kitchen, not in that bathroom. Doesn't go into this den area, and then put the LVP down over the top so you couldn't tell. But I can tell that I think that there's a problem there. Now, I could be wrong. It's possible that there's no issue, but I'm afraid that there is. The living room area itself is nice and big. I don't mind that. The layout is kind of hinky because you have some space off to one side. You've got this entryway. You've got one bedroom off the entryway too, and then the others off, into that back area there. So you've got it's kind of split up. I don't really mind the split up piece, but what I don't like is that the flow to the living area is not really good. I mean, think about this. When you walk in, here's your little closet. When you walk in, that's the wall that is the one that has the most space on it for a TV. If this was going to be your living room, you would have to put your furniture in this corner between the front door and that doorway. Because there is another big doorway over here, and that's the only other space. I guess you could put like a couch there and put your TV on this wall, but still, it's not conducive to having an actual living room. The bedroom that's back here, you have to walk through the middle of the living room to get to it. And by the way, the floors there are pretty slopey too. I'm pretty concerned about that. The wall colors, they painted this thing so dark that, you know, it just feels cave-like. Without all the lights on, it feels really cave-like. I don't appreciate that. There's no furnace. There is no air handler. The air compressor that's out back is ancient and needs to be replaced. There's 3 different kinds of roof, at least on this house. All that has to be ripped off and replaced. Some of the fascia also is shot and needs to be taken off and replaced, which makes me wonder, what about the material underneath, the decking underneath the roofing? What's that going to be like? Kitchen cabinets are original equipment, all painted over. There's this horrible texture on the walls, you know, everywhere, where they didn't bother to actually work their texture at all. They just put it on there and then painted it. And, you know, what is that covering up? What was this like before? So, although the floors are new and the paint is new and the countertops in the kitchen are new, the rest of the house to me really feels dodgy. I'm not at all happy with what I see with a lot of the house. I would be very, very cautious if this was a property I was going to buy to pay what it is that they're asking for. I would want to make sure that I was reimbursed for the roof and for the HVAC, and I had a good inspector underneath crawling around to make sure that I didn't have problems underneath before I went down the road of this house, even if I was buying it as a rental property. So, and then there's the neighborhood too, which off of Moncrief Road might not be the best. That's something that you want to check though with the Duval County Sheriff Crime Map. You know, I've probably given you an address if you've worked with me before to use in there as you know, kind of a baseline for the crime in Jacksonville. And then you can compare what you find here to that one, okay? So at the end of the day, I'd say personally, I'd stay away from this one. Of course, if you're going to want it, then I'd be looking at some pretty good reduction in price for the things that are definitely going on with it. And maybe some for the things that we don't know about, such as the stair step cracking that hasn't been sealed up yet, and the wonky floors, including the raised floor in the kitchen. Sorry. The bearer of bad news. You know, I don't usually talk this bad about houses, but I don't really like when I see shoddy work, and I feel that's not what we've got here. In any case, this is J. Frederick Smith, Continental Realty of Jax, 1702 West 44th Street. And hopefully this video is helpful, and hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to get the lights, and then we'll see you at the next one.